What's good, everybody? What's good? It's Big Game James. We're back in the building, man. And today we're powered by JJAANN. And we're doing a call-in show as usual. Got some of my guys calling in, and we're going to be talking a little bit draft today. So jump on in as we get it together. Keep on gathering in. Like I said, we're going to talk a little draft, and the certain people that are going to come in on the show, I believe, I'm going to kind of do a little Q&A with them, kind of throw out some names, some draft names to them, and tell them kind of get their feel on what they think about this player and where they think they could possibly be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys if it were to happen. So as I continue to do that, you can check in the link if you want to go right in and join in the live call-in show. All you got to do. What's good? What's good? What's good? It is going to be in the description of the link. You can definitely download the app. As I said before, it's called JJAANN. 2 J's, 2 A's, 2 N's, capitals, all the way through. All you have to do is download that app to your smartphone, your cell phone, your device, your laptop, computer. Download that app. Once you download that app, go into the Big Game James part where you see where it's live, and then click into that. And then when it asks you to have a drink, click have a drink, and it'll take you right in and you can call in. What's going on, Paul Raw Dog? What's up, Eastside Harold, Samuel Rowe? Keep on coming in the building. How's everybody doing? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you like while we're going live here on Big Game James. And like I said, I'm going to bring up some names out here in the building. I want to just kind of talk about them and kind of what you guys think. And I'm going to ask you guys in the chat while you're in there. As I said before, what's good? C. Los, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Keep on coming in the building. Like I said, we're going to throw out some names. A couple of my guys are going to be coming in. We're going to be talking to them soon, as I said before. But I'm going to, guys, get your kind of thoughts on the Cowboys with the draft. That's right around the corner, the 27th through the 29th. Shout out to my guy, Joe Castro. He'll be actually going there live. It's really excited for him. He's going out there. I know he's going to do the Philly coverage. But I told him to sneak some Dallas Cowboys stuff in there too for me. You feel me? But what is the Cowboys going to do? We've been hearing about the 30 visits. We did a show yesterday on the Final Word. Make sure you go check that out, a Final Word. One of the things that we did, what's up, T Smooth TV? As you can see, like I said, you see the JJAANN link. If you'd like to go into that link, click that link, download the app. You can come right in the show and get your thoughts on it. I got a couple people getting ready to come in here soon, and we're going to kind of get their thoughts. My guy, DMV, I think he's supposed to be in here. You already seen him been on the draft show. My guy, Coach Marvin, a few other people as well. But like I said, they got the 30 visits. What's going on, everybody? As you keep coming in the business, they got the 30 visits. As we said before, we did on the Final Word yesterday. And one of the things that we noticed on there, that there's a lot of receivers coming in the building. Okay, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson, the kid from North Carolina. Let me pull him up here while I'm talking about it. Hang on, just talk about it. Let me just pull him up. So we had Jackson Smith, Najiba, Quentin Johnson came in, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, Nathaniel Dale. Those type of guys are the ones that they kind of brought in. And now we're wondering, will they jump out there and take a receiver in the first round? In my opinion, I don't think they do that just yet. You know what I mean? I don't think they do that just yet. But, we'll kind of see what happens with that. What's going on, big dog?
What's up, Big Game James?
How you doing, man?
Chilling. I'm going to make this real quick. Since we talking about the NFL draft, I know we had a lot of receivers that came in there. But real quick, I believe we can get like a Jalen Hyatt in the third round. I believe so. But I'm looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama by the way of Georgia. He's something special, and I believe that's best available player, and I can't let him I can't let him get out the door and go to Philly at 30. I can't do it. I seen this boy highlights. And I said, I can't let this boy go out the door. That's an ultimate weapon, future weapon. And I can't let him out the door. Sorry for y'all offensive lineman people, but I can't let this boy Jahmyr Gibbs out the door. I can't do it.
Now he's a nuclear weapon. That guy's a monster.
Yeah, he's nice. I'm not gonna lie, he's a very nice player, and I'm definitely hearing what you're saying about the Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. A lot of people were hyping him early, and I said I don't want that. I'd rather get him late. And because he's a little bit slight, it did kind of work out that he didn't have the greatest time, even though he's fast. He didn't have that 4.3, 4.2 everybody was talking about, so it made him probably try to drop. So I'm feeling you, dog. If you can get him in the 3rd round, I'm cool with that. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, one of my boys kind of turned me on to him, and I feel you with the Gibbs thing. Boy, he nice, dog. If you add him in the backfield with Tony Pollard, then maybe you got something.
Jerry Jones just don't know.
You got something good right there. I totally agree with you. I wonder how it's really going to happen in the building. But if you could grab him, I'd be geeked up more than anything.
I believe if we play it smart, he'll fall to us. I just don't want him going to Philly at 30. Because if they don't get Bijan Robinson, they gonna get that boy Gibbs at 30 if we don't get him. If Buffalo don't get him at 27. Because you got Buffalo, then you got Philly at 30.
Right.
Philly at 30, Buffalo at 27.
Right.
And I say, hey, I'm going to get this boy, pick this boy up. Go ahead and get him. But that's where I'm at.
What's going on? Is that D Shift in the building?
What's up, big?
What's going on? How you doing, dog?
I'm all right, bro.
Hey, we just talking. Have you been hearing what we've been talking about?
Oh, for sure, bro. As the days get a little closer, man, that smoke's kind of clearing up. Big man, I honestly think we're just kind of, I guess the outlook I'm trying to go with is just understanding that the team has a lot of spots, and this draft has a lot of depth that's going to allow you to add pieces to units that are 1 or 2 guys away from being elite units, right? And we know that these Super Bowl teams, like we just, guys like you just want elite guys, like you don't fall for the measurables, or like you don't fall, you just want studs,
Mm-hmm.
And we know that if you build a collection of studs, and then don't let you start having a collection of studs at specific units, right? And so I believe that, where we're at with the O-line, where we're at with our secondary, where we're at with the wide receivers, like regardless of if you get one of those guys, like if Zay Flowers, if you get Anton Harrison or Dewan from Ohio State, if you get, hell, even one of those linebackers, right? You're going to get somebody that's going to add another piece that when you take a step from the draft, you're going to look at like, damn, that's a real good unit, that's already going to be added to. I mean, we already got a hell of a pass rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can say we're elite on that end as long as Micah's not hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that the depth is going to allow for this team to like really build on some unit that's going to go with just what you already have in the pass rush, what you already stable at as, you have a franchise quarterback, right? And so
I don't know. His connection may be bad. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, I see you, the ninja. What's up, dog?
Elite units, more collections of elite units around him.
Well, I'm gonna wait to see the shift. I think your connection is bad. Go out and come back in so I can hear you, because you're kind of going in and out. But the ninja, while I'm waiting for Shift to get it kind of together with the internet thing, go in, come out. What's your thoughts on it, dog?
I got notes.
give me some of your notes.
Mention Jalen Hyatt. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna last long. Dane Brugler's got him as wide raw. He's he's 6 foot 170. He's got decent hands. He's more. He's got more 40-yard touchdown drop passes at 5. So I mean, he is a. I do like him, but I don't like wide receiver early, and I think if they start picking wide receivers off early, unless their guy's still on the board, I think they're going to panic pick.
Yeah, but I don't. I honestly, I just feel like I don't see it could happen. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't feel receivers gonna happen in that first. I know a lot of guys have come in for the 30 visits, and those 30 visits are real. When you have a 30 visit with the Cowboys, they're most likely going to draft you. And there's a lot of receivers that came in the building.
This is why I'm excited, because you know who else they brought in?
Right.
My guy Mafi.
Right, for sure. You've been championing them up. I'm just now myself getting onto it because I ain't gonna lie. I've been on the offensive lineman this year. I really haven't. I've been seeing a lot of the guys, but his name has been coming up. Do you think? Because I've been seeing where he's been mocked later in the draft. Is that where you finally kind of think what would happen if Dallas were to go after him? He's not going to go early, right?
I mean, I don't think he's a big name. I don't think he's not a big name. Dane doesn't have him in the top 100, and I mean that grain of salt. But the guy's accurate, especially when it comes to the draft and who most. But I like him because of his lateral movement. I mean, he can go 15 to the other in 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can block a hole. But they also brought in Steve Avila.
We like Avila. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's if they get Mafi in the 3rd round, I like it.
Right. I mean,
I don't.
Go ahead.
But I mean, it on where they priority pick. If they pick offensive linemen in the 1st, I don't think they're going to go the 3rd. But now there's a lot of people telling me that Mouch, however you say his name is, the kid from North Dakota State, he played tackle the whole time. I don't see him as a 1st round pick because he only played tackle, but he's light and a lot move inside and play center guard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the was it North Dakota or South Dakota early. I think the priority, like when you look at Will McClay, he likes those big name conferences guys. You feel me? And so I don't feel like he's gonna be in the equation, especially something like that early. I feel like
I don't think he's gonna be early. I don't think anybody's gonna pick him early.
Yeah, I feel like, like you said, we're going to kind of see how it falls. If they go for an offensive lineman early in the 1st round, then, I don't think they touch another offensive lineman until later. Then they're going to go after their surplus picks, you feel me? Then they'll go after their running backs and the receivers and whatever. It'll be the domino effect after they get that offensive lineman because they'll get him kind of out the way.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my thinking with it, how it'll kind of fall. You feel what I'm saying?
What do you think about Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois?
I like Devin Witherspoon, but I don't think he's going to fall to the Dallas Cowboys. You feel me?
Oh, I don't think, but I didn't think that he was going to. Dane was going to have him at CB2 either.
Right. But I feel like, I mean, they brought in a lot of corners, as well. So receiver and corner seems like to be. I'm be cool with it. Get a corner early. I told everybody I love the Deontay Banks kid. He's my guy that I've been liking since A1 day one, and I feel like he could possibly fall. I don't know if that can happen, but I think he could possibly fall to Dallas, and I think Dallas should look at him heavily. But Joey Porter Jr. is out there, the Emmanuel Forbes. Go ahead.
Porter Jr. since his freshman year. I love the kid.
Who are you talking about?
I always have. Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's that guy, and he's got the good bloodlines. I think that's the biggest thing with me. He
does have the pedigree, but. Not to be going back to it, but where'd he go? He has him at, I want to say.
Are you talking about Joey Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they 17 overall, 3.
I mean, he's 18
behind.
overall with the Pro Football Focus too, so he's up there. You feel me? Um, I'm just like I said, cornerback, offensive lineman, um, receiver could happen though. You feel me? But if that receiver
But
happens,
I think receiver's going to wait. I think they like their guys later. I think that there's going to be like that Tank Dell. I think
yeah, he's in the building.
I think Quentin Johnson's going to fall. I don't think Zay Flowers is going to fall. Well, if I mean, I'm thinking past the Cowboys' first round pick.
Hmm.
I don't think Zay Flowers is going to make it far past 26. I think Quentin Johnson will be there. And maybe Jalen Hyatt. And this is just off their 30 visits.
Hmm.
Tank Dell and Jonathan Mingo, I think, might go in the later rounds.
Hmm.
Um, but I just don't like the idea of. And there's not a number one. What's that kid? Mims from OU. I mean, he's fast as shit, and speed kills. I mean, we saw John Ross go number 4 overall because of his combine
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
and that guy's a bum.
Well, yeah, speed kills. But before y'all say anything else, if you're trying to get into the building and you're in the app, hit go have a drink. It'll take you right in there, and then we can be able to see you come in. I think my dog Wink Marvel's in there, and somebody else. So if you're not able to go in, if you're in the app, go click have a drink, and once you do that, it'll be able to take you into the video, and you can come right in. But what's up with you? Coach Marv is in the building. I got my dog the Ninja both on here. We're talking draft, and Coach Marv, the Ninja. We were just talking about what could possibly be the pick at 26. And receiver heavily been coming in the building, 30 visits, cornerback. What's your kind of thoughts, right quick, Coach Marv, as we're discussing this?
I heard y'all talking about Martha, man. That's my man too.
I'm saying I've been on him since February, and nobody's talking about him until last week.
Right. I had to do some research on him, and I see where people are not going because he's young at offensive line. It was his first year really starting at offensive line, but the nasty is
Right?
over the top.
I told you
It
3
is
years ago
over
we
the
needed a
top.
nasty left guard.
Right. He is definitely got, and I like what he said. I seen a little snippet of him. He said he really don't have time for a whole lot. He's 100% about football all the time. So
His
he had a
lateral
weight
movement is so fast.
right. We had a weight problem. He was a big guy, so he lost some weight to get down to that 330 playing weight this year. Um, the guy does reps with 600 squats. Reps. I'm not saying max reps. So
That's
the
nasty.
guys are definitely that's all he is a guard. There's no position flex for this guy. He just a he just a guard, and I believe you know he's young, but Tyler Smith was young.
Hmm.
Right.
I mean, so it just raw power with this guy. The movement is good. I
His
just think
hands.
he wasn't. I don't think he was on the radar going into the season. And sometimes guys that's not on the radar going into the season, they don't get the credit for having great seasons. So that's
Right.
where I think a lot of the guys you got to think about in this draft thing. A lot of guys coming into the season with has the height. You may have some guys that come on and doing that season, and they kind of push them behind them because they building on the hype that they had coming into the season.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, and get back to what you were saying, about the receiver. I just don't see where receiver, what our angle will be going to get a number one pick at receiver. I'm to the point of saying, man, there's only one football. And if I think that this offense is going to throw the ball more to the backs, definitely throw the more ball to the tight ends. I'm trying to figure out where you're going to have a number one receiver, and where is he going to get his opportunities? Are you going to sit a $15 million receiver on the sideline and Gallup? Are you going to put Cook on the sideline? You paying you forget about the cap hit. You still paying him $18 million guaranteed money. Are you going give the snaps from CD Lamb to this guy, where are you gonna give the guy the snaps
The right
that
answer is whoever gets open.
right? And then and what kind of formations we gonna run? Are we gonna put these? Are we gonna go 4 wide? Are we going in the 12 in the 12 formation? I just think Cowboys are looking to see maybe in the second round, maybe a third round, but I just think they're just evaluating with this because it just don't seem logical unless you got a trade in the mix somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think they might be in a situation where they may have a trade where they maybe shopping Gallup or Tobert, you know.
Right.
But I just don't see where you're gonna bring a guy in. And then the other thing I want is I would think you would bring in a different type of receiver than the ones you have. I think I've always said that they need a bigger body receiver to go along with the Lambs and now the Cooks than to have a guy that's just like them.
See, that's what I was see. That's where my angle was thinking because when we were talking on the final word, that's what I was saying. Now I feel like when we were talking about Donald Driver and we were talking about Greg Jennings, those guys weren't the super tall guys. Those guys were effective in the slide on inside and out. But that's what I was saying yesterday. Would the Cowboys really at 26 get a like a Zay Flowers that's 5'9"? You know what I mean? At the first round pick, especially if you're talking about when Law said if you have a possibly you don't know if you bringing a CD Lamb back if he has a holdout if it were to happen and you drafted this number one guy, I just have a hard time believing that you're going to get a 5'9", 5'10" guy if you're a number one thinking about possibly replacing CD Lamb or even number two if he's coming in that lineup. You is he going to be that dynamic? Because he's got to get the ball, right? At 26 pick, he's got to get the ball. You got to throw
Right.
him the ball. First round pick, they're playing, and they got to get the ball. So we know Lamb's there. You got Cook there. So if you invest in the first pick, he got to be on that field instantly. He's got to be seeing that field right now, right?
That's one of the reasons why I'm leaning towards Quentin Johnson in the second, because that's number one. That's the Cowboys' boomer bust pick. Have been for 10 years now, right? And Quentin Johnson is he's smaller than they reported. He's not 6'4", he's like 6'2", but he's got red flags at the point of attack and his route trees. But he's a project, but got an explosive lower half. He did a what? His measurables are great. He's 75 inches, 200 pounds, 9 and 5/8 hands, a wingspan at almost 82 inches, and he had 1,000 catches on a brand new coach on 60 catch. Not 1,000 yards on 60 catches with a brand new coach.
I mean, the numbers I seen them. The numbers are good, but like you said, I wouldn't hit that. I wouldn't hit that in that first round, second round.
No, the
But
second.
I don't know. He could fall at the 58th pick. Like he could fall that far. It could happen.
With the red flags, if they're not if a team is willing to take a risk on a project, he's not going to last to 58. But his lower half, he's got a 40.5-inch vertical and a 11.2 broad jump.
Yeah.
The guy's got a lower half. He got tree stumps for legs, but does he? But that's the project. What's the risk? And is he going to be? Is he going to develop in his routes?
What
Is he going to be more aggressive at the point of attack?
something my draft strategy would be, guys. If I'm going with something that I got a target for my first pick, okay. But if I'm going to try to get something in the second round, I'm going to bring the most people I can bring in because I got to evaluate because I'm thinking some of that might be around in the second round. I can't bring in a few guys let's say if I'm targeting receiver in second round. I can't bring in a few guys. I probably need to bring in 8 guys because I'm trying to find out what something's going to filter down to the second round, and then that's where I'm going to go. I can't. That may not be that I'm doing all that for a first round pick, but I'm really doing a lot of bringing in for a lot of positions because I'm looking for who's going to filter down in rounds 2 and 3. Because I already got. I don't think did Tyler Smith come into visit last year.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
that's a good
can't
question.
even remember. I think they were.
I know the Ferguson
I
did.
don't think he did. I don't think he did because nobody was. He came in late as far as everybody was talking about him. Because remember, nobody was really talking about Tyler Smith, and then all of a sudden, like right before the draft, you heard Tyler say, "You heard Tyler Smith from Tulsa. He might be the pick. He might be the pick." And I'm like, "Where did Tyler Smith from Tulsa come out? He came out of nowhere as far as the pick." So I feel like it could be a coach that they could be just like showing us thinking that because they want their guy at a guard or tackle and they're worried about maybe somebody getting them. So they're bringing in all these receivers that have a front to say, oh, maybe they're going to draft a receiver. Let's go a different route. What are y'all thoughts?
And
what
then
was your
somebody else
question?
might want one of the guys they brought in the later round that got dropped. They just show interest. Somebody might say they want that guy. They may think you're gonna get that
Right,
guy, and they may offer you something
right,
for that guy.
right.
That's why you even bring in all the quarterbacks. I would bring in all the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would push it out there. Yeah, we brought in all the quarterbacks because we looking to draft somebody might fall, but we really not going to draft the guy. But people think we got interest in the guy. Somebody might want to say, hey, well let's move. Hey, he done dropped that far. Can we get up to your pick to get that guy because we think you may have interest in the guy?
Right, right.
So it's a cat and mouse thing. One thing about the draft is, I, I think Will McClay they bring a lot of guys in because they're really they really care about whoever may fall outside the draft. That's some of the players you got to really look at too. Some of the
Yeah.
lower school names, they're really bringing them in to evaluate because they don't feel they may fall outside the draft, and there are going to be some guys that they can bring in as undrafted free agents. We do very well at undrafted free
Oh,
agents
great.
every
I
year. To
mean,
have people,
Agreed.
that's our
yeah.
draft.
So
That's our draft after the draft. I mean, look who we got last year in Peyton Hendershot. I mean, I didn't really know a lot about him, but then about the issue that he had off field. But just to get him, and he was supposed to be drafted in a higher round because of his skill set, but because of his off field. So that lets you know Will McClay and his scouts. I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to say I know all the scouts out there, but damn near Dallas got to be second to none with the scouts in the building with Will McClay, especially in the free agent pool after the draft. They go nuts as far as they're getting players that can actually make the team. So,
we had 3 players from that draft that was undrafted free agents that contributed.
right,
The guy from Florida A&M, Hendershot, and Davis,
right. Malik Davis.
the
Yep,
running
yep.
back.
Malik Davis, Peyton Hendershot, and then Marquise Bell from Florida. Yep,
Right.
Florida
Yeah,
A&M.
that was they drafted. Well, excuse me. They put on the team. I say it that way. Out of the 30 visits last year was Marquise Bell, Deron Bland, Malik Davis, and Sam Williams.
Mm.
And
So,
see that was
so
saying.
those are all the
So that's the
right,
guys they
right.
bring
See
in.
what I'm saying? And,
Those
and
are,
they did
but
that.
those are the only ones that they.
And,
Those are the only ones that they took that were from their 30 visits.
and
So I forget the question that you asked, Coach. But the answer is no.
but I agree. But listen, but then
Tyler Smith and Tyler.
but
Yeah,
No, no,
Smith
no, no.
wasn't
Tyler,
but
it wasn't
listen,
Tyler Smith.
I think the same thing happened the year before because they didn't bring in Michael Parsons either. I don't believe they brought him in and they drafted him. So if you look at the last 2 years, they've done that. So this could be the same type of thing where they ain't brought the dude in and they can go ahead and get him because they don't want nobody touching him. So they're just gonna be on the hush and say we ain't even, you know what I mean?
So then, does that mean that Steve Avila's out? If they're going by those rules, is Steve Avila out because they're pretty loud about it?
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a tough one.
Look how many running backs they brought in last year. They brought in what 4 or 5 running backs in last year, and didn't draft none.
Right, right, exactly. But what about on defense? What do you think about defense? Do you think what if one of those edge guys drop? Would they touch an edge in the first round?
Well, it depends on the edge. To be honest with you, I mean, who do you think will
Depends on how
drop?
many guards, how many.
Okay.
If they feel like they can get that guard in the second round,
I'm like,
that lineman, but they're going to go edge. Big game, You said a long time ago when the draft first started that you thought the edge was a key position. I
Yeah,
remember y'all did
yeah,
your first draft
yeah.
show, and that is more true today than not, because like I said, I've got some word that Dorrance Armstrong was yelling about he should have not signed that deal because he wanted more money. So his days in Dallas after this deal is
Oh
over.
hell yeah,
There's no coming back.
yeah.
So that's why I think that they're shopping him to maybe able to get some type of pick so they can get, because they're going to draft the edge guy in this draft.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's a definite need, because you think about it, you got Lawrence is be done. They're not giving D Law another
Right.
contract. Um, he's
They
good. He
shouldn't.
got three. He got three contracts. Most players don't
And
get
he's
three
over, and
contracts.
he's
But he
over
got
30
three.
too. So you know what I mean. It's time.
Right. So he got three, and I
He
think D
hasn't had
Law.
the 10-sack season since that one.
Yeah, but I think D Law's. I think with the injuries he went through last year to playing, I think D Law already knows this is his last year. I think D Law be one of those guys that are hanging up after this. I don't think he's going no farther. So,
But
so
who
they're
you,
going to draft the edge because they got it. Their edge. They need another edge for the future to go on the other side of Sam Williams. So edge is, so if that real edge is there, at one, the people that they have high on their board at one, then you may see them go get him. And the two edges, I like McDonald, but I really do myself like the guy out of LSU,
Ojulari?
Ojulari.
Ojulari.
I
Yeah.
mean, go ahead.
I've heard it. I heard he had didn't he have a bad pro day or something?
Ojulari.
Bad. Yeah, it was something. There was red flags. I was hearing something about red flags with him.
I mean,
I'm just not sure. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that, but I mean, my guy from the very beginning, when we talked about edges, coach, remember when we first did our first draft show and we talked about edges, that was my number one guy I mentioned before even Dan Quinn had talked about even seeing him and going and watching him, was Will
Yeah.
McDonald. Because I was like, man, he stood out of all the edges because he was a true edge rusher. Now, even at Iowa State, they played a lot of three-man front, so he played inside as well. Now, he wasn't big enough, but the fact that he did it lets me know he's not scared to play in that, and you can move him
That's
around.
right.
And you can stand him up because he stood up when he either rushed or you could probably drop him. So you could you can use him as a Swiss knife army type guy, and maybe you can add maybe 10 more pounds to him, you know what I'm saying, later on. But his get off the line, his bend off the line is crazy. You feel what I'm saying?
If him and Nolan Smith are there at 28, who are you taking? 26, who are you taking?
Ooh wee.
Ooh.
What's up, DMV?
Yeah,
What's going on, my guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, my dog DMV in the building? Hey,
What's up, DMV? How you doing, man?
Hey,
What's up, Coach
hey,
Marv?
the ninja just asked a real quick question. We just all started laughing. I'm gonna ask you right quick. If Nolan Smith drops and Will McDonald's there and it's the first round, who would you take?
Will McDonald.
Ooh.
No question. No question. Will
And why?
McDonald. Because Will McDonald has more in the tool bag. I feel like he's a little bit more refined. I think in the next couple of years, Will McDonald will be one of the best pass rushers in the game. For Nolan Smith, I feel like he's more of the project of the two. If it sounds, a little bit weird, but I think that Will McDonald and plus Dan Quinn appears to like him a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So in DQ I trust.
Right.
He was there at the pro day. I don't think he went. Did he go to Georgia's pro day?
I don't think he went to his pro day.
I didn't hear that he went to Georgia's pro day per se.
I do know he went to Iowa State's pro day specifically
Well,
for Will
he
McDonald.
don't have to go to. He don't have to go to Georgia Pro Day. Let me tell you.
What?
Let me give you
That's
the
fair.
word about Dan Quinn in Georgia.
That's fair.
Dan Quinn and Will Muschamp are the best of friends. When I'm talking about best, they always communicate. So whatever Will Muschamp says, Dan Quinn gonna go with that.
Right.
That is why McCollum is in Dallas right now, because Will Muschamp said,
Fair
"Hey,
enough.
go get this
Fair
guy."
enough.
Right.
That's
So-
a valid point.
So anybody from Georgia, if Will Muschamp give him, and they really, if he said, and the crazy thing about it is, I saw on the show, I think West Coast, and they had McCommel on with a conversation, and I put in there for him to ask a question about Will Muschamp, and he said the reason why it was easy for him to transition because he said Muschamp defense is a lot like Quinn's. They almost the same. So the terminology and everything helped him fit in faster because he was used to that style of play. So whatever Will Muschamp says about any guy from Georgia, if they're high on him, they'll take him.
Yeah, for sure. DMV, I want to ask you because we've been talking about the 26th pick, the receivers being in. We talked about on the final word the whole host of receivers. They got a lot of corners. What do you think? Is it smokescreen? What you seeing all these receivers all of a sudden coming in the building, and we're talking in these 30 visits. Where do you kind of think this 26th pick is going, big dog?
Personally, I'm not going to stray off of what I think. I think it's Steve Avila's job to lose unless somebody falls. I think they're doing their due diligence with the receivers because somebody gonna fall, and they might be able to scoop one of these guys up at 58, possibly.
I think it'll be Quentin Johnson.
You think he'll get to 58?
Oh man, he's got so many red flags. Look the reception perception. Somebody on Twitter, do you follow that account? They
no, I don't. But go ahead.
They posted this breakdown of his route tree, and there are a lot of red flags on there. And he's 2 inches shorter than he claimed. He's 6'2", not 6'4". I think he gets his weight up, and he keeps that route running. I mean, he is explosive downfield, but he's got to be more aggressive at the point of attack. And that's why I said that earlier when we was talking that's the Dallas perfect second round pick. It's a project pick.
Well, Jalen Hyatt to be there.
I would love Jalen Hyatt.
Would you?
I don't know, man. I think Jalen might go higher. Honestly, I think
he's going off the board.
I think he might go 1. Sound funny, but
over Jordan Addison?
Well, teams apparently love Hyatt for some odd reason. He's always one of those receivers that goes earlier than they're supposed to, and he has the speed and the downfield ability to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying he's a first rounder to me, but all it takes is one team.
That's crazy if somebody picks him in the first round, dog. Because I remember when we were all talking, DMV, that I was like, I'm not doing that until like second, third. I'm looking. Me personally, I would do.
I got a round 2 grade on him myself, personally,
because he light.
I got a round 2 grade.
Because he light.
Yeah, and to me, I haven't seen enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I haven't.
Every time I see him catch the ball, he running through. There's no. It's not. He's just wide open, and it's some question about of Hyatt as well as Hooker based off of the offense that Tennessee run. Are they a product of the offense? Are they a product of the offense, or is it because of the fact both of them just all of a sudden with this new guy with a new offense just start putting up outrageous numbers, and then without them playing in the bowl game, they still put up outrageous numbers. So it's some questions about is this fast paced running plays every 15 seconds? Is what's going on? But I can tell you, like I said, I was telling y'all before, I watched Hyatt. Hyatt is now the physicality type thing of press coverage and people getting up in his face. I don't know how well he's going to deal with that. Cam Smith and the corners at South Carolina in that game shut him down with that because they took it personal because these guys were from the same state. So they really got up into him. I think he had like 5 catches for 50 yards, right? So you look at his games, he had some explosive games. The explosive games, he had big numbers. But there are some games like the South Carolina game and even the Georgia game, it wasn't no real big numbers. I don't think they really scored a touchdown. You just have to he's got good speed, but I would think about him in the second round or third round or second round especially as a project guy because I don't think you really have to say if you draft him in the second round that he has to be a major contributor right off the bat. That's then he could just give him certain things you want him to do, not coming in like a first round draft pick. They try to do too much, So
Yeah.
I just think he's going to take some time to get to running a whole lot, and then dealing with the physical contact, and then catching the ball sometime with contested catches. Because we watch him, what contested catches you saw him? Every time we saw him, he catch the ball scot free.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
I mean, DMV, you said Steve Avila, it's his job to lose, but let's say like Bijan Robinson dropped to that pick and it's right there, and the Will McDonald is right there. What out of those three guys, if you had let's say Robinson falls, and then you got that pick, and you got Avila, and then you got Will McDonald right there, what do you think would happen?
I think Bijan Robinson is your pick if that happens like that, personally. And it's not necessarily because he's just the best player on the board, but for economic reasons, it just makes sense for the Cowboys to pick Bijan Robinson right there. Uh, now, me personally, I think Avila helps us probably a little bit more, but I think if that's how it plays out, Dallas is going to get Bijan.
If okay, let's say hypothetically we're right when it comes to Steve Avila, and because the Steve Avila pick is super loud right now, and what if that's smoke, right? And so they want to target, say, in a perfect world for me, Mafi in the third round. I think you're satisfied with your guard right there for the next 10 years. I think that they think that they can get a starter right now and Ola at guard later in the round, and if they could go edge, running back. They could go. I mean, they did such a good job in free agency that they have very many options. They got a Kellen Moore option route in the first two series, first round. I mean, but I mean. That's what they set themselves up to, and I'm proud for them, to be honest with you. This is the first time in a while, like, we're not sitting here going, no, we need this first. No, we need this first. I mean, last 5 years, I wanted offensive line in the first round.
Yeah.
But I guess we have to understand this year that our first round draft pick may not start.
That
Because
would
there's
be
only
crazy.
one real place that we draft a first round draft pick that we definitely think he's gonna start, and that's guard or tackle. Everything else, you gonna start him off with $10 million. You gonna start Bijan Robinson over Tony Pollard, making $10 million? No. You gonna start a receiver if he comes in here over the ones you just got, and you don't want to just cook like that, because you don't want to have that problem.
Right.
Because it will be a problem because you traded for me, and now you ain't gonna let me play. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, it ain't a cornerback. If we draft in the first round, he's gonna stay on with D. So unless maybe a safety, you already got the starting safeties. That's not a bad thing. That's a very good position to be in. That you said you can draft. You got a lot of positions. If you draft somebody that you already got that position started. But if we really think about it, it gotta be a smoke screen, because there is no starting guard that they could definitely say that this guy's gonna start at this
I
particular
think
time.
it could be a smoke screen for a tackle, personally, and I'm still not giving up on the idea of it being a tackle, and then
Right.
pushing Tyler
Tackle,
Smith
right.
back to guard. I'm not giving
Right.
up on that.
I thought about that, to be honest with you. I did. I thought about that exact scenario.
They ain't brought no tackles in. Not that many.
That tackle from USC that tore his shit up at the combine.
Voorhees.
Thank you. What if that's their second round project pick?
I mean, I wouldn't have it. Or for me, I don't have an issue with that. I hate that they do that and they get injured guys. I'd rather just get a
Yeah.
guy
I
that
don't
can
want.
play.
I don't want it.
I do too. But I mean,
I don't
look
want.
at
I
their
don't.
history.
I don't. Yeah,
that's-
but I don't want. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do an offensive lineman who's
the
injured.
dude with one leg.
I feel
I
you,
mean,
but I just
I-
don't see that. I don't think.
But
One
that hasn't
leg-
been McCarthy's MO since he's been here. That's more of a Jason Garrett type of thing, because we got Trayvon Diggs and he could play. There was no red flag.
Right.
They might get a second round guy that got red flags under McCarthy, but
Right, yeah, a boomer
as far as
bust,
a
right.
hurt guy, As far as a hurt guy, I don't know. And I kind of wanted to go back on something you said about offensive line. Um, Dallas actually would rather reach. I mean, I've seen them actually reach more for linemen than saying I'm going to get that guy later on. They say that with safety, like I can get a safety
Yeah.
later on, or I can get a I don't know what other position or defensive lineman. They actually say that, I can get a
If they
one
say they're gonna
technique
reach,
later on. But
if they
offensive
gonna reach,
linemen, they reach
they reach
normally,
Mafia might be their pick.
possibly.
Yo, don't,
Yeah,
don't.
but if I mean,
I mean,
but
that's
if Mafi's they pick, like you said, it's not going to be till later, and it could be the smoke screen that we're pushing all these guys up, so they don't want nobody to touch him. So that's why they're not saying anything about it. Because we were talking about at DMV, the last two picks, Tyler Smith and I believe Micah Parsons, they weren't in on the 30 visits. So
No.
those two guys were not on the 30 visits. They could bring a guy. They could be drafting a guy or being silent about a guy that they haven't even brought in and go ahead and scoop him up. What are your kind of thoughts on that? What's up, KG?
What's up, buddy?
My thoughts on it, I think that it has everything to do with who your head coach is right now because, like we said, the consistent 30-day visit thing, that was more of a Jason Garrett thing.
Right.
Mike McCarthy kind of rolling how Mike McCarthy rolling. He tried to get Trey McBride a couple years ago at the tight end position. CeeDee Lamb, the way he fell,
Right.
that wasn't something Jason Garrett was going to do. Mike McCarthy's all about getting players in here.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And also, too, under Jason Garrett, they were more of we like the small school, chip on the shoulder type guy. Mike
The
McCarthy
right
don't have
kinda
a
guy.
problem. Yeah, Mike McCarthy don't have a problem getting to Alabama or LSU or those type of
You're
guys.
right. That's a
So
fair point.
I mean, it's not against the realm of possibility that all this is a smokescreen.
Right. Right.
And that's why, like, I'm kind of like, I feel it's like it's a smokescreen because of how loud it is. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like you put the Ford Center on your IG account. How much louder you want to get? I mean, like, like it was no secret. Oh, we love Avila. I mean, they're even leaking it through Mike's guys. You know, they love Avila. Avila's the guy. Avila's the guy. Avila's the guy.
Bro,
How many?
who was the guy last year?
The last 3 weeks.
Who was that guy last year that they really, really liked?
Oh man, I'm wondering because Tyler Smith didn't game steam him until the very end. You get what I'm saying? Like
Give me 1 minute.
nobody was.
They ain't steam until like the day
Yeah,
of.
I know,
feel
yeah,
like where they
like-
were like Tyler Smith is the pick.
Yeah, like they weren't saying a lot about Tyler Smith at all. They were keeping him on the low, and then all of a sudden you heard Tyler Smith. We're hearing Tyler Smith is going to get drafted. So,
It might have been Dean. Might have been the Kobe Dean possibly.
Yeah.
Or Davis.
it definitely
Oh, yeah.
definitely was the Kobe Dean. Was it a receiver too? Were we looking at receiver in the first round last year?
Give me a
and
second.
them two guards was high on their board from Boston College and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the guards. Yeah, it was the
yeah.
guards.
Yeah.
Zion Johnson and
Zion Johnson,
and
Kenyon Green.
Kenyon Green from
Yep.
yep.
Both of them came on
Tyler
visits.
Smith, but they felt Tyler could play both guard and tackle.
Right.
But those two guys can only play guard.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was Zion Johnson or
Zion and Kenyon Green
Kenyon Green.
can only play guard.
And both of them
Yeah.
and both of those
They
guys.
just put Tyler because Tyler could play. He was playing. I think that because remember that they did the draft. They asked. I remember Jerry when they went to the draft room. They said, "What we gonna announce him as a guard or a tackle?" So they knew that they felt that Tyler Smith could play guard, but he was playing tackle in college. But Kenyon and Zion could only play guard. That's all they was gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they went with the guy that they can play, which was a smart thing to get a guy that you can play in two positions.
Well, and not just
So
that.
again,
Not just that.
that might be something you looking at in the draft that they're looking for a guy that may want to play guard, but he can't play tackle too.
To be fair, they
Might
did
be
build
guard
a
or center,
strong-
too.
Yeah, but see, here's
Might be guard center.
Linderbaum was on the board when they picked Tyler Smith too
But
last year.
see, here's the thing. Also, when you look at Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson's rookie year, that was a great pick for them because they didn't have the best rookie year. If you look at both of them, especially Kenyon Green, he struggled. So that was the good pick. The Cowboys, once again, scouting department really knew what they're doing. Like you said, they could play both positions. So I would say when we're talking about that, they like position flex all the way through. So
Right.
if they're going to look at an
Well, they
offensive
always have.
lineman, they want somebody to play dual positions because they want to be able to move you in different spots. Straight up.
But they
But
always gonna hype the guy from Texas though. Anybody from TCU or Texas, they gonna hype that.
as a
And
hometown
listen,
hero,
any good player in right around the Dallas area, they're gonna invite them in
So let me
for
ask
some type of training, some
y'all
type of
this:
something.
if Bijan Robinson, I'm just throwing him out there, if he drops to 26, would y'all be upset?
no, I
Nah,
don't
I
want a running
wouldn't.
back in the first round.
I wouldn't be upset personally. I like the
No,
play. I
I
like him
wouldn't.
as a player, but it depends on how the board goes. But I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset.
You're committing you're committing a 5th-year option possible to a running back that may not be worth it at the time. I just don't agree with it. I'll never agree with it. I'm of the mindset that you use and abuse running backs and you draft 2 every year.
Well, we'll see.
I have a problem. I don't have a problem with using a 5th-year option on a running back. I have a problem with possibly repaying a running back. I think somebody said that earlier,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's my issue with the running back at
That's
that
fair.
spot right there. But I get you though, because I'm with you in the sense that you want to use that for a premium position, corner, wide receiver, quarterback. You know what I'm
So
saying?
a position that's going to be progressing at the 5th year.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. What about cornerback?
I want Joey Porter Jr.
What about you, DMV? At corner, would you do a corner in the first?
I wouldn't now that we got Gilmore. I was on the train. I was on the train before. But second though, I think second is wide open for corner or wide receiver. Personally,
Second going.
one of these
I
guys.
feel you, DMV. I think second's gonna be wide open for a lot. I think that 58th pick gonna
I
be
do too.
crazy. You feel what I'm saying? I think that 58th pick, for some reason, that first round pick, but that 58th pick, to me, just gonna be crazy. Now, let me ask you this, DMV, because we was talking about Gibbs.
Ooh,
What if
that's
if Gibbs by chance fell in that second round? Would you go after him?
Hell yeah! Look, it sounds
He
funny,
said, "Hell
bro.
yeah."
I would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even look.
I'm with it. I'm with that.
So,
Yeah.
so look, I don't look at Gibbs or BJ. They're the only running backs that I would take in the first. I don't think Gibbs is a first round player. I'm just saying I wouldn't be mad at them. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at that because I look at them as weapons. I don't look at them as just running backs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at 58, man, I'd be doing a damn backflip if we got
Yep.
Gibbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be doing a backflip. That'd be a steal.
How now? Emmanuel Forbes is
I
on
like
that
I like
visit.
Spears too though. I like Spears as a running back too.
Tajay.
I love
Yeah,
him.
Yeah,
Bro, I love.
and he killed the Senior Bowl in catches. I mean, he didn't have a lot of opportunity during the year because their offense didn't throw to the running backs, but he just destroyed the guys in the Senior Bowl on routes. So tough runner. I mean, I think he's more like Tony Pollard, but I think the Cowboys love Tony Pollard's skill set, but they feel that they're going to lose that skill set. So they're going to prepare themselves to replace that when they let that go. They don't want to say, "Oh, we're going to let Tony Pollard walk," and we don't have the skill set that Tony Pollard possesses.
But see,
So
that's
they're going to make sure that they got
Well,
that.
see, that's why I say that if they're going to get a running back and they're looking, I don't think they're going to re-sign Tony Pollard to a long-term deal. I just feel that
Right.
way. So I feel like in Stephen
Yeah.
Jones had already said they like them bell cow type running backs. So if to me, unless a Bijan Robinson falls, I don't know. Like even Gibbs, I know he's electric, but is he a 20 carry back? Because I feel like if they're not bringing about Pollard, they want a back for the future. At least somebody's going to be there for the next 2 or 3, 4 years. So I don't know how those kind of smaller guys come in the equation because I feel like they want those 20 carry backs with Pollard. And if Pollard is
I think
gone,
they can do it, big game.
would they though?
I think Spears and those guys can do it. The reason I don't think Tony Pollard can do it because he ain't never did.
Well,
He didn't do it in college.
You think?
So
would,
that's
so,
why
but
I
you,
think
think you think Tajay Spears would be a bell cow type running back to them?
more than Tony Pollard. I just don't just think we can ask Tony Pollard where he has never done that before. Even
True.
in college, he only got. I don't think he had number what. He only got about 5 or 6 carries a game in college because
Facts.
he was yeah. So
It was
you can't
it was
ask him
Henderson.
now to be
Yep.
that guy for a whole year. you make gains here and there, but those smaller backs are used to carrying big loads, so they're a little bit more of what we could call a little bit more closer to the bell cow because they used to carrying big loads like that.
Right.
So that's the only reason I said you could do that. But I think they're gonna do it. I think they like their philosophy like they had this year by doing it. Really, we had a committee this year of running backs. Basically, I think they
Yeah,
like that where they're gonna split the carries, and maybe they might
I'm
split
cool
it
with
between
it.
three people now, but they're gonna split those carries.
I'm cool with
I
that
love
too.
it. I watched Andy Reid do it for years in Philly, growing up out there, and I've always loved the idea. I've always hated the idea of this is my running back. He's going to get all the carries, and in 3 years he's not going to be worth a shit. But I got to pay him for 3 more years.
Yeah, I mean,
I just never agree with that.
and right now you still got Malik Davis in the fold, and then they re-signed.
Yeah, and I think he's
Yeah,
explosive enough
I,
too.
he
I
is.
like Malik Davis. I like what he brought to the table. I don't think he's really explosive. I think he's a north south guy, and he's going to get you tough yards. So I think that's why he can be the equation because he can get those tough type yards for you. But I still feel
Robert Jones gonna give you a lot too.
I feel still,
He gonna
And
give you a
yeah,
lot.
I still feel like they still need like a home run hitter. Even if they got Tony Pollard, I still feel like you feel me, DMV. They still need another home run type running back that could come in and just be electric and kind of add with the Tony Pollard. You feel what I'm saying?
all right, let me ask you this, right? We got on the roster right now Rico Daldo, Tony Pollard, uh,
Malik Davis.
Malik Davis, and Ronald Joseph. We draft a running back somewhere before third round. Who's getting cut? They're not carrying 4 running backs through the season.
I don't know if Ronald
They
Jones could
carry
be
four.
a camp
You gonna
body.
carry 4?
I
They're gonna carry four. McCarthy gonna carry four.
Would they pay? Would
Yeah.
they pay Rojo? Because that'll tell you right now if he's a camp body or not.
they
They
didn't
ain't
Oh
paying
they
yeah.
didn't pay him
much.
nothing.
He a camp
He a
body.
camp body. They didn't pay him nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's okay. That's why I said what the money
Yeah,
is.
they didn't pay
I
him
love
nothing.
Dabo. I've been watching Dabo. Dabo was at South Carolina. Love him. If he would ever stay healthy, if he could have ever stayed healthy, even in college, he would probably been a top running back. But he's gonna get hurt if he's gonna get hurt in training camp. I can tell you that right now. That's just who he is. He's gonna get hurt. He's been getting hurt since his freshman year in college. Every year he gets hurt. So this is not that's how Dabo. So they bring him back. He's a camp body. They may bring two running. They may draft a running back and bring some running backs in
I don't.
undrafted free agents in here.
Yeah,
I
So
yeah,
don't
Coach
think
Marv,
Rico.
I'm doubling up, Coach Marv. Personally, with all these backs, there's about 20 of them that can go. I'm gonna double up this
I
year,
don't think. I
personally.
don't think Rico makes a team. And you're right. Looking at the contract, if they cut him pre or post June, it's only a 300,000 hit to dead money. So
Rico not gonna make the team, and this
Can
is
you
what
hear
they're
me?
gonna do. They can always cut Davis if
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
they draft to bring in a guy in.
Okay.
They can always cut Davis and put him on practice squad and do
right,
that practice squad type thing, because he still got practice start time.
right. I'm just saying, it's not a lot of chairs in that running back room. So
They like they like the halfback from they like the TCU halfback. They like Spears. They like the Auburn halfback, and they like Israel from Pittsburgh. They could take it to the house. There's so many halfbacks, so ain't no way I'm dropping a halfback in the first round. No, I'm going offensive lineman, or if that guy from Georgia Falls Smith, I'm getting him.
well, I don't know. I'm telling you right now, when DQ works you out and he comes to your pro day and he's looking at you, he's gonna bring you
I
in.
think
So I think he's gonna be more of the
Yes,
pick over Smith because I feel like just like what you was talking about, DMV, he has more in his toolbox, and I feel like he's still stronger at the point of attack. Even though he's 240 pounds, I think he's a stronger version than Nolan Smith. You feel me, DMV?
Yeah,
who's that?
absolutely.
I mean
From
But
Iowa
Nolan Smith
State?
is a pretty wiry dude in the middle,
Yeah.
man.
I do like Nolan Smith and how he sets the edge, though. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. I want to look at the two. I'm just like, okay, elite pass rusher versus set the edge, and it's like I'm probably gonna go with the guy with the pass rushing moves because I got some guys that possibly could set the edge now. We got better once we got Hank. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
guys
yeah,
start setting the edge a little better. So I probably going off of DQ, I probably would go Will. I think it'll be Will more so.
I think if they're going to go edge, it's going to be. I think you're right.
Yeah, and I think
The Iowa State guy.
well, yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna see because I think he can fall. I think this draft is gonna be weird. how it's going to fall because I feel like at the 26th pick, there's going to be some players that we're like, damn, they're available at 26. What's Dallas really going to
I
do?
think
I think that's
you're
really
right.
going to happen at 26. There's going to be some goodness, and they're going to be having to take their time at that 26th pick, dog, because there's going to be some options that they probably didn't think are going to be there, and they're like, uh-oh, what we really going to do? We got 3 dudes that we really like, and they all right here at 26. Which way we going?
Hey, I'm
Big
about to tell
J,
y'all fellas, man.
What's up?
I want you to check out
fellas.
Corey Price
Go ahead.
from Purdue. 6'3", 4'5". He got all the measurables. That's what your boy like. Purdue, 6'3", Corey Price from Purdue.
Receiver?
Check
You got a good last
check
name.
off his tape. The corner.
Okay. I will.
But so that's why I think when they did that, and like I said, Cowboys, what they don't talk about much, they come out with like a one story type thing and they leave it alone. That's the thing you got to really have your eyes on. They're shopping Darns on. I really hope that Atlanta bites on that deal that says we need a defensive end because they want a defensive end. That they bite on that deal and give us 75 for Dorrance Armstrong. Then we really gonna be moving and shaking in this draft because that's a top 100 pick. Now that will give us the leverage if we want to trade up to get somebody and still keep capital. That gives us another The 75 is a 3rd round pick, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3rd. That gives us now that changes our whole philosophy if we get that extra 3rd round pick there about how we really can go about things. Then we know they're going to get a defensive end then because you done got a man out the room that's going to take up snaps. So you're going to replace that. Now you can make some move. You can be a mover and shaker. That's a very key thing because when if they draft a defensive end in the first 2 rounds, they got to trade Dorrance Armstrong. They got to get him out of the room.
Yeah.
That'd be beautiful.
I mean, well, here's my thing. That's the most logical thing because when you brought Dante Fowler Jr., in my opinion, who's the better pass rusher than Dorrance Armstrong Jr., that signified that that's where you can trade a Dorrance Armstrong when you brought Fowler back because Fowler is your true pass rusher. And you saw in the limited snaps what he can do. And he's not old. So he still can get some significant tick on the field this year more than he got last year. And you could go ahead and dangle Dorrance Armstrong Jr. because that contract he has isn't crazy at all. He's still young. And like you said, if Atlanta, you need a defensive end, get fooled because he had the 5 sacks. And, teams get geeked up on sacks. He had 8 sacks last year in part-time duty. I hope they're using that to try to do something because I feel you, Coach Marv. If you can dangle him and get rid of him and get that
$7 million, 8 sacks guy for $7 million defensive end, that's a bargain.
I would love to do that and get it.
It ain't a bargain for us because we got somebody who can do that. We can do that.
And we got Coach Marv, and we got Takk McKinley. That's gonna be the X factor. That's what I tell you.
So that's why I knew when they signed Takk McKinley, I had already knew that Dorrance Armstrong been woofing. So I already knew a long time ago when Fowler signed. I knew Dorrance has been woofing about. He think he got low ball because he had such a better season. He wished he would never sign that $6 million, $7 million contract, and he wanted an extension or whatever. But they were like, no. So they signed McKinley. That's just if McKinley make the team or not. But they know they were going to draft him, so they're gonna float him around. That's why they talked about it one time in one article, and they didn't say nothing else about it. That means what? They really trying to do it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they kept on talking about it over and over again, no, they ain't gonna do it. But they talked about it, so that might be a draft day thing when they get. And I hope they bite and give us that 75. That would be an outstanding pick for Dorrance Armstrong. Yeah. Because we let him go, we're gonna get a compensatory pick 2 years from now. So we don't want that. We want the pick right now. So we can be bigger movers and shakers with that 75 pick. Then that really sets our board up that we can do more stuff or take a chance and wait for somebody to drop and go get a guy. That puts us in a better spot.
I agree, but we know the Joneses. They wait till you call them, and we have to have the best deal possible. We have to basically screw you in order to get the deal done.
I don't know.
They have to win every trade. I mean,
they negotiating this year good.
I agree with
I
you.
told
That's what they should
hey
do.
big Coach Marv and Big James. I told y'all today. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm the guy. I'm MJ on the. I'm the one MJ Coach Marv. I'm MJ. They be on Law
Yeah, I
Show.
know.
And check this out. I'm the guy. I'm Cowboy 2, Big Game James. They call me Cowboy 2. And why I call myself Cowboy 2, and you know Big James, Stephen Love loyalty. Now, when he gave that guy 11 million, that was a bonus for the tight end for 11 million that he never had in his life. But he got to his big head that he was worth 12 to 13 mil. So they told him, go on and try to see what you worth. He didn't get what he wanted. And then to them, he did him like this. He said, okay, we don't want him back. And we'll say, man, you already got tight end that's going to be better than him. We know him for building tight ends. So they let him go. The second guy they about to do, they finna see if he loyalty. He ain't worth 3 to 4 mil a year or 5. That's Pollard. Pollard, we going to give you a 3 or 4 year deal for 20 mil. Guaranteed. If you don't take it, you gone next year. That's when they, like Coach Marv said, they finna draft a halfback that's just like Pollard. He's gone. They not playing with them guys no more. I'm for the Cowboy assembly. I'm not for the player. My favorite halfback of all time got traded. Dorsett. Big James, who is your favorite player? Number 94 got traded. He's gone. They don't care. I'm for the team. If you're not for the team and not giving me a Super Bowl, you gone. I'm sorry.
Well,
So
You
I'm
said,
gonna tell you right now.
you-
I can hear you with that philosophy. I think right now, like I said, well, kind of because we're kind of gonna bring this to a whole. As a whole, everybody on here, is this an all-in year? Is this an all-in year for the Cowboys?
Has to be.
Yes,
I
yes,
think so. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, it is.
It has to be. This is the Dallas version
Is
of all in.
this pressure on McCarthy? Is the Cowboys front office, are they pressure? Is this putting the pressure on McCarthy, saying, okay, we want to see what you can do now, because if you don't do
They're
it, then
putting
we're
the
gonna
pressure
move
on
on.
Dak Prescott.
He said it.
Definitely
I was
on
about
that.
to. Yeah, he beat me to it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on that.
Yeah.
It's on
It's the
that.
Hey.
pressure on
wait,
Dak
But
Prescott.
okay. But now hold up, hold up.
I
But
disagree.
hold up when you say that though, because I've already been saying it's on. We're going to see what it is with Dak. So they did all this to say if Dak don't do it, they ready to move on.
No,
I
no,
think
I
No,
disagree,
no,
James.
no.
This
But
pressure is
he
listen.
got
Hold up,
pressure
hold up.
because
Hold on. Go ahead,
This
Coach Marv.
pressure is on the listen. This pressure is not just on Dak Prescott. This pressure is on every player that ain't got their contract yet. Cause it's gonna get
yes, there
harder
you
to
go.
pay CD Lamb. It's gonna get harder to pay Diggs his money, and we haven't won anything. It's
Thank you.
gonna get harder. That's what I'm trying to tell these Cowboys. It's gonna get harder for you to us to give you for the pressure of this fan base to give you a top 5 salary, and we ain't got nothing to show for it. So if these guys want their money, their next contract, where they have to make it easier for them to get their contract, they got to get to an NFC Championship game. They got to get to a Super Bowl because
They got a Super Bowl.
It's hard to justify to our fans, right? And I hate to say the fans made it, but listen, when CD Lamb contract comes up, and we like, man, yeah, we want to keep CD Lamb, but he want 25. He want 25 million, and now we looking and saying, well, we ain't got a playoff victory. You know how we are, big
Yeah.
game. You know how our fan base is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Coach
So if
Maul,
these guys want their money, they understand that it is time to circle the wagons,
Co-
right?
but
You can hide behind
but
Dak if you
Coach,
want to, but nobody's gonna get paid.
but
Dak
Coach
done got
Maul,
paid.
the two players they got circled for the contracts is CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons. The person that's in trouble is
Trayvon.
the other corner.
That's what I said too. That's what I said too. I said
I'm
I
telling you,
said
Coach
I
Maul.
said this. I said that Last year, I said that last year at the beginning of the season, I said out of the three players, CeeDee Lamb, Trevin Diggs, and Micah Parsons, I said really they would latch on Parsons more than anybody because, like you
Yeah,
said, with CeeDee Lamb, if he getting like once like 20 something million, they're gonna take
he getting better every
they
year
go.
though.
I'm saying I don't know. They're gonna take their time with that. I don't know if they jump out there and want to pay CeeDee Lamb like that, and especially with Trevin Diggs. I don't know if he. I said he wasn't going to get his contract. I said that last year, and I love Diggs,
No,
but I said
he's gonna go to Buffalo.
if he asked for that big money million, I don't think they pay that to him. I just don't feel it. What do you think,
No, they're not
DMV?
gonna pay that to
What
him.
do you think, DMV? I'm gonna ask
They'll
DMV.
give him 20 mil,
I don't.
but he's not getting 25 mil.
What do you think? Do you think they would pay him,
I'm
DMV?
gonna shock y'all with something else. I'm gonna shock you. We don't win in the next couple of years. Parsons gonna find a hard time getting
I
his.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I talked about that on Tuck Channel last night.
Yeah,
I think Parsons going to shoot to try and be the highest paid player in the
he
league.
is.
That's what I think
Oh
because
yeah,
he's
if we
becoming
don't
the
win in
face
the
of
next
it,
couple of years, he gonna have a hard time getting his.
and
he better come
gonna
on
talk
then.
too.
Yeah,
And he gonna
yeah.
talk
He
too.
gonna.
He like I mean he gonna
Yeah,
chirp.
He
He
gonna
gonna
let
go
you
on
talk.
Armstrong bad.
He gonna be chirping. He gonna be chirping big time. Like he gonna be all on social media. Like, hold up, this is what y'all
Press
offered
ain't
me.
no
Hold up.
press ain't on that. That got his money. That the guy paid. See, the press is on these other guys because they ain't got their money. That got his. That the got his payday, right?
Right.
No,
The press wasn't on Zeke. Zeke done got his payday. These guys is coming up to trying to get their payday. The Cowboys has already done let you know that the pressure of what we got to do to win, and they feel like they're trying to piece this thing together. If they don't get results, right, they're not going to justify getting you top five money, and our fan base is going to go crazy about getting you. Cause they're gonna be like, oh well, why we paying them? We ain't won no Super Bowl. We ain't
That's
win
right.
that with them. Let somebody else do it. You know,
That's
let get
why.
somebody else. That's just how we
That's
are.
why this
That's
year.
how we
That's
are.
why this year in particular is huge. All you guys, this year is
That's
huge.
right.
Just like for contracts,
This is
for
big.
jobs, Mike McCarthy. This year is, and especially because the way they got Gilmore and Cooks and the way they're doing this, this year is gigantic, in my opinion, for everybody in the Dallas organization that ain't Steven and Jerry Jones. Y'all thoughts?
Because after this year,
That's
they're going to
right.
get out of that contract, can't they?
And they still got money to get A-Sean to add to it.
Yeah. So
that's why with this money, that's why I don't think Trayvon might not get his money because they got money if they want to go ahead and try and get it done right
right,
now.
right.
So I agree
Well,
with
it
what
won't
y'all are
start till next
saying.
year. The contract won't start till next year
Yeah.
if they do an extension. The only thing that will happen this year if they do an extension, the extension will pick up on next year's salary cap. The only thing the reason why they hadn't done it because when Trayvon, Diggs, and Lamb sign, that's going to be a 20 million or 20 or 25 million dollar check right off the bat. You got to do a bonus with that and spread that out. If you don't, the cap will be too big. So the Joneses ain't ready to write that $20 million or $15 million check right off the bat to Diggs right now and say, oh yeah, well you'll pick up next year, but we writing you the check now. They ain't ready to do that.
I don't think Diggs is getting his
So
back.
that's
I
the
don't think
only
Diggs
thing
is
that's
getting.
stopping them from doing these extensions. And that's the same whole thing holding up that extension.
I don't
They ain't ready to
think.
write that check yet.
And not
I don't
after this
think.
year.
I don't
They
think.
waiting. They waiting for this year to happen. They want to see what this year happens, and then we'll see if we're gonna write any checks. Because if they go in the playoffs and they don't do good again, yeah, I don't know if people are getting paid. Because like you said, if y'all ain't winning, they not Jones, especially Steven, he ain't gonna be wanting to pay you money if they ain't winning.
No.
Well,
No,
that's
but
why
I
I
don't
try to
think.
tell these players, man, they hide behind, sometimes, I always say this. A lot of media, they always want to say, well, Dak does. But there's a lot of players that didn't make plays and didn't do and sometimes I think our players get a tendency because we always on the quarterback to sit back and hide behind the scenes when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But now
Thank
the rubber's about to meet the road because all these guys looking for contracts, and they need to have they don't need to forget about Dak pressure in that room. Dak already got his. If you want to get yours in Dallas, you better make sure that this team has success.
Thank
or
you.
it's gonna find a heart. And even Michael Parsons, if 2 years we go and we get knocked out of playoffs, we have 2 bad years. The Joneses ain't gonna justify getting him $30 million, and we ain't what they said we'll go another route.
Thank you.
They don't give him $30 million,
And he'll for sure
and
hold
the
out.
fans ain't gonna want to give him $30 million
And let me,
because we gonna critique everything he does because we gonna say he ain't doing enough for us to
hey,
win.
I already know that's coming. So everybody, listen. The love for Michael Parsons was the first and second year. That love is slowly going to start to weigh away this year. Watch. The love for
It gets
him.
lower
Yeah,
every
we
time he
saw it
plays.
happen to
Yeah,
D
yeah.
Love. It happened to Ware. Yep.
The love. Everybody love Michael Parsons. Look, they love him in the media. They love. But listen, it's starting to
As
start.
soon as you get too
No,
paid,
it's starting to start in his
yep,
Twitter. People are like, he need to be quiet a little bit. He needs to. It's starting.
yep.
Trust me,
Yep.
it's starting. And the Joneses, my guy Mike White said, and I believe him when he said, if the Joneses try to bulk, they're going to use him on social media, being on social media too much as a ways to say, well, he ain't mature enough. They're going to use certain ways to get out of paying him. And they've already started with Diggs with, well, I don't know if he's getting the interceptions. They're going to use those type of things later on to justify why they don't want to have to pay you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And
They're
that's
I
gonna
don't
use him
think.
for the playoffs. If he don't get sacks in the playoffs and make plays, that's how they get you. Not the regular season. It's the playoffs. In the
I mean, we
playoffs, and
always.
it come time to make a play, and you don't make a play, that's what they'll use on. I'm just being honest.
I mean, we
It's
When
all
always.
about the
Cowboy players
playoffs.
want to get the upper hand, when they want to get the upper hand, all 53 of them need to know if they want to get the upper hand for everybody
Win
to
a
eat,
Super Bowl.
go out there and perform on the grass. Everybody make plays. Everybody get themselves together because listen, you will have no choice. Listen, if we win, if we get let's say win the Super Bowl, right? I don't even care if Diggs didn't have the year that he had 2 years ago. You think people gonna want us not to sign Diggs?
right.
They'll be beating the doors down.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to sign him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we always assume that the players want to be here. Sometimes the players not might want to be here. I don't think CeeDee Lamb wants to be here, and I think Trayvon Diggs wants to go to Buffalo. I
Nah,
don't think he's going.
Well, send him to Buffalo
I
then.
don't
It
know.
I
doesn't
don't think
matter.
either
I
of them
think
go to
I'm for the
Sunday.
Cowboys. Still, if you're a Cowboy player, I don't give a fuck who you is. You can be Jesus. Send your ass to Buffalo. Nigga, I'm a
Well,
Man,
Cowboy fan.
what
I can tell
I
you like
mean,
this, and y'all know this too.
You know, Big
If
James.
listen, if they win in Dallas, if they win a championship in Dallas, that's the gift that's gonna pay for the rest of their lives.
yeah, for real.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because
Thank
we got guys, y'all got guys, we got guys in Dallas now making money now in Dallas just because they was on the team.
right.
thank you. And they don't even make money in
That's not
other
that's
cities.
not that don't happen nowhere else in no other
Thank you.
franchise. When
Ain't no
guys
other
retire, they go
franchise.
to other places to play. Where they migrate themselves and come back to stay. If they play for
Don't
the
nobody
Cowboys
even
a
talk
little bit,
about it.
Yeah,
they coming
Thank you.
back to what? They coming back to Dallas.
right.
The big D.
Yeah.
So Cowboy got that brand, man. You can't beat that brand.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that CeeDee Lamb just doesn't want to be here. I think he's being forced into a situation he doesn't want to be in. He didn't
CD
want.
Love and
I don't
CD
think
Lamb
I
loving
think
here,
CeeDee
man.
Lamb wants to be here. I just think CeeDee Lamb was a very good friend of Amari Cooper, and he couldn't
Yeah,
stand Kellen Moore.
thank you.
Yeah.
They hated Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
And
I
watch
mean,
what I
But
tell y'all.
I bet it's a breath of fresh air that guy's gone. He is him. You can't tell me how close they were, and if you can't tell me Cooper didn't have a problem with it, because
Thank you.
the bland stuff we are talking about, right? Those things you can't tell me a very intelligent guy and the stuff that Mike McCarthy is talking about the routes and all this. You can't tell me that wasn't what Cooper was talking about. I think when y'all were talking about Dalton Schultz earlier, enough, I think they gave Kellen Moore autonomy to say who he wanted here in offense and who he could work with.
Try to
Schultz
make
was
him
that
like
guy,
me, all American.
and when
But never
Kellen
had
was
a tight
gone,
end do that.
Schultz was gone.
Yeah.
Now the
Hey,
guys are who
Big
McCarthy
James,
wants.
Coach Moore, Big James.
Yo.
I was like, look at this. I can put say y'all at the 30-yard line. I can put your grandmother at the 35, my grandmother at the 35, and they'll probably get an interception because they know the damn routes we running. That's fucking pitiful. Come
Hey,
on,
but I'm gonna tell
man.
you right now. Can I tell y'all something though? I bet you he doesn't do that in San Diego or LA. I bet you he doesn't do it.
He gonna try to change it
He is
up.
going to change it
Watch.
up. That's I think the Joneses were wanting a certain way as well because I
Right.
feel like he's going to coach a whole different type of offense with them Chargers. You're not going to see all that stuff that you saw in Dallas that you saw going to see in the Chargers. Trust and believe. I don't believe
I
that.
don't know. I don't know,
I
big
don't
game.
believe it's going to happen. Just watch, Coach. Just trust me.
I don't know, big
Trust me.
game.
Just trust me on
I
this.
I
understand why
can't
you're
see.
saying that.
Trust me.
I
Because
can't see how they don't.
Go ahead,
Go
he was
ahead.
comfortable in Dallas. He was comfortable in Dallas. That's what Big Game is saying. Now you somewhere else where you got to coach for your damn job.
He got
So
a coach.
Right. You're
yeah,
not giving nothing no more. You're not that you don't.
And plus, I
You're
think
not part of the
I think the
family.
Joneses want a certain type of offense. I feel like
Well, right.
they want
I
a
agree
type
with
of
that.
offense philosophy, and they have probably Kellen Moore saying, "Hey, this is the offense we want to do." So he did it like that. But I think with the Chargers, it's going to be more freedom with Herbert and them, and he's gonna change it up and show it a different look because you're going to see a same type of offense where they want to run the ball. That's what McCarthy said. They want to run the ball. Schottenheimer likes to run the ball. And you even said it yourself, Coach. It's going to be a more efficient type of offense, a molded way the Joneses like. They always a run first type team. They like to run that ball. You feel me? That's why they kept on pumping Ezekiel.
And I believe that. But when I say about Kellen, the thing that showed me that Kellen is not going to really change. There's no way in the world if I'm coming as an offensive coordinator and I come to a team. Yes, I got a good quarterback, but this running back that was there was about 40% of my offense, catching the ball as well as running the ball. And he's going to ask them to get out of here. I'm going to do all I can do to keep that weapon as a receiver and a runner in the fold and make my team better.
Yeah.
I don't give up that guy.
Right.
If I give up that guy, that's telling me that I don't understand that this guy's a weapon. That's just like we had a guy come in here as an offensive coordinator, and he says we got this guy signed under contract, and Tony Pollard signed a contract, and he signs revenue. And you say, well, don't worry about it. We don't need Tony Pollard. Then we're gonna say, well, what kind of offense are you going when this guy's that big of a threat, and that guy that was in San Diego, he wasn't just a threat running back. He had what 70, 60, 70 some catches.
Austin Eckler.
He was a threat.
He said he wanted to leave. He heard Kellen Moore coming. He said, "Man, trade me." Oh, Kellen Moore for the mess
That
up his
tells you
money.
the meeting when he had the meeting. Eckler probably felt that hey, when we had the first meeting, I was gonna be phased out this thing. What I have been doing that's been helping this team. We gonna because we know he ain't gonna throw the ball to running backs. He ain't never did that before.
Nope.
So that's not what he gonna do.
Well, we about
So when you start letting guys, what I'm saying, when you have those type of guys and you coming in, you will say, hey, let's try to do what we can do to keep this guy and because he's a weapon and court him into this thing because he's a big weapon. Not to say, oh, you want to be traded, well, we'll get rid of you. For what? Now you go with nothing in the backfield. You're taking a lot of your offense away that helped Herbert be who Herbert has been. That Eckler helped Herbert be Herbert numbers.
yeah.
Now you're taking the weapons away from him. That's the thing I'm saying.
Well, look, hey, we're about to close it up, but I got one thing that before we go, I'm going to ask you guys one thing, and then we're going to close it out. One thing do you want to see from Dallas this year? What's one thing that you want to see from Dallas, whether it be wins, whether it be the play, whatever? What's one thing in this Cowboys season that you want to see the Cowboys do this season? I'm going to start with you, Coach Mark. One thing. Your number one thing.
Ooh.
You like that question, huh?
Hey, I'm gonna say this. The one thing I would like to see from this team, and I know it'll take care. Everything else will take care of itself. I would like to see an emphasis of this young team be a little bit more urgency in training camp, where they take training camp as just like we said. This training camp, we got to push it to the line because everybody's job and their money, right, is on the line. We got too many people in 1 year contracts. We got to do it now. and you have to take it into training camp with that urgency from the start, and it will bleed through the rest of the season. I always go on the father. Those who bleed more in peace bleed less in war. So when training camp comes,
It's
they
good.
got the sweat in training camp, and they'll bleed less in the war when the season comes. But I want to see that urgency from this team that this is our time. 3 years together, this is our time, and for all of us to get the goals that we want to get and the money and all the contracts, we got to advance this year because I don't want to go to the point if we have a failed season, then everybody's job is on the board.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. The urgency of the training camp that says, hey, this is something different and we not in no camp cupcake and trying to snap pictures and all that stuff. I want to see us grind on the grass.
I like that one. What about you, the Ninja?
Dominance. I want them to show dominance. I want them to show that they are the team in the NFC. That's what I want. Game in, game out. Put your foot on their neck until the whistle blows.
I,
I don't care what it takes. I don't care. Dominance.
I like that. So I already got two of you. Both of y'all, I'm not going to say nothing because I like both of y'all, so I'm going to just blend. DMV, what was your one thing that you want to see the Cowboys do this season?
One word, attitude. You know what I'm saying? When you look at like this team has been very good the last couple of years. The one thing that they're missing is attitude. And by that, I mean, if you knock somebody on the ground, you ain't helping them up. Like, I mean, you always that guy. I feel like sometimes, like Minnesota, we showed up and we were them dudes that week. Then we came back the next week and struggled. Like, nah, if you that guy, be that guy all the time and walk around with that attitude. That's what I'd like to see this year.
All three good answers. What about you, KG?
I just want to see better play from Dak Prescott. That's what I want to see.
Consistency in the playoffs.
Consistent. Yes.
There it is. And what about you, Marv?
I want that efficiency. If that quarterback be efficient like 2016, Dak Prescott, 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, accuracy, and a beast mode run game, and a beast mode middle of the defense, then you'll win the Super Bowl.
There it is. Well, hey, I'm going to take all y'all answers because I feel like all those answers have to happen this year. Every one of you, everything that each one of you guys talked about, if all those things happen and they can happen in this season, that's to me says that's going to be a very good season and there shouldn't be anything stopping you. But if I'm going to say my one thing for what I want to see from the Cowboys, I think I'm gonna go with DMV with the attitude of, I'm tired of this. We're tired of the same thing every year, failing, and we're not failing this year. It needs to be the mindset, like what you said, Coach, coming into training camp. It has to be the mindset from the coach McCarthy saying, "Look, this is it. This is it. We need to watch Super Bowl games in training camp. We need to watch the 92 Super Bowl, 93. We need to watch all that. We got to come in with that Super Bowl mentality already, because if we don't do that, it's going to be the same old thing, and it can't be the same old thing anymore, because I can say for all of us, we're all tired of the waiting. The time is now, right? The time is now. Everybody's in. It's all in. The time is now, and there ain't no excuses from anybody else. In my opinion, there's no excuse. This is a no excuse season, in my opinion. So, hey,
better tell
I
it.
appreciate everybody jumping in, man. Thank you, DMV. I DM'd you. I appreciate you. I hit the Ninja up on the text. I told him to come in. I hit KG up and said, hey, come on the show for me, big dog. I hit Coach Marv up in his DM, said, hey, dog, I need you on the show. And I appreciate you, Marv, first time jumping on here, jumping in, man. You guys made me feel really good that, I DM'd every one of you guys, and every one of you guys showed up. Really means a lot to me that you guys did that, and I'm forever grateful. We had an awesome show today. A lot of people in the building. This was a great show, and I just really want to tell you guys.
You got a concept?
Huh?
Always. You gonna keep this concept
Every
always?
Wednesday, big dog, we're gonna do it every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So whenever you guys want to jump in, we're all gonna do
Yeah.
this every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Powered by JJAANN. I thank you guys. Much blessings. I'm gonna talk to y'all soon. And once again, I'm forever grateful. Big Game James, for everybody on the
You the
panel.
best,
We know we're talking about Dallas Cowboys. It's our time. We'll be talking to y'all soon.
Super Bowl.
Peace.